wretched man that I am, a sinner saved by grace, whose righteousness is nothing but a pile of filthy rags. And my gut instinct, your gut instinct, our gut instinct is to go and be with somebody when they're hurting. When Jesus went to the cross, he died. He died. He died until the sun refused to shine. He died until darkness covered the land. He died until the moon turned to blood. He died until the angels held their breath. He died until the ground began to quake and shake. He died until all creation began to moan and groan. And when he died, they took him off the cross. And then they put him in the grave. And 3 days later, early, one Sunday morning, he got out victorious over death, hell, and the grave. Have you ever been in a situation where you had a problem and you knew that God was the solution to the problem, and you knew that God was nearby, but he's not seemingly doing anything? Time after time, it just seems door after door keeps shutting in front of you. But let me tell everybody in here this morning that no matter what the problem is, God has the solution. You're trying to read the Bible and all the words are running together and they don't make no sense anymore, and you're praying and all they do is seemingly bounce off the ceiling. They don't penetrate the heavenlies, and everything you're doing, nothing is working, and you're clapping your hands and you're waving your hands and you're shaking people's hands, but on the inside you're empty. You're hollow on the inside. Your prayers don't penetrate the ceiling. You don't want to be around people who sing spiritual songs. You don't want to be around spiritual people because you think they're faking it. And all the while you're thinking to yourself, why isn't he doing anything? Doesn't God see me? Why, God, would you allow me to go through this? Do you get some kind of perverse pleasure in the pain that I'm going through? Do you find humor in the hell that I'm going through? I'm over here agonizing and you are just another face in the crowd. He says this sickness will not end in death. And I had a problem with it. Time after time after time. Holy Ghost quickened me one day. He said, I want you to go back and read it again. I said, I've read it 100 times already. Go back and read it again. This sickness will not end in death. How? Gotcha. You didn't get it, read it again. This sickness will not end in death. Gotcha. Deal with that. You still didn't get it. Read it again. This sickness will not end in death. And we went round and round about 10 or 12 times. He finally said the problem is you're putting the emphasis on the wrong word in that sentence. He said this sickness will not end in death. He said, son, I said it wouldn't end in death. I never said that death would not be part of the process. Death is even subservient unto me. Because anything that happens in your life is only because I allowed it to happen. And I'm going to tell each and every person in here that if something is seemingly dead in your life, you need to get ready, baby, because if it's dead, he can raise it back up. Somebody say, I've got a dead thing. Somebody say, I've got a dead thing. Death collided with deity. Deity collided with death. And I hope you understand that deity and death cannot occupy the same space. He says, Lazarus, come forth. In 4 days, the spirit of Lazarus caught the boat in glory. He crossed over the rivers of time. The spirit of Lazarus, my God, his spirit was in the spirit world. His spirit was talking to Obadiah and Jonah and Micah and Nahum and Habakkuk, talking to the prophets of old, talking to Ezekiel and Daniel. And then they said, Lazarus, is it true? The Messiah came to your house today. And before he could get on his feet and answer, he cupped his hand to his ear and he said, hush, somebody's calling my name. But But all Jesus has to do is say, come forth. Business come forth. Healing come forth. Life and life abundant come forth. Family come forth. Relationships come forth. My God, come forth.